This is grip and frame removal for Geo R5. To remove the foregrip, simply grab the foregrip and grab the body, slide the foregrip off. This will become easier over time. The first few times will be quite stiff, but it will become easier. Place that to one side. In order to remove the rear grips, you have to lift up the bolt bonnets at the back and slide the two latches on either side. Once those have been slid forwards, you can lift underneath the thumb pieces at the bottom of the rear section, lift that off and then slide off from the back. Front section, you then need to pull forwards and down to release the tabs at the top on both sides. The grips can now be removed. Moving on to the frame removal, you'll need a 1/8 hex key. Also need to remove the drivetrain. And then we have two frame screws, one at the back, one at the front. You can loosen those first. And then remove. Take out both screws. Place those to one side. Then we separate from the rear, so it hinges from the rear and then unhooks from the front. There's a hook at the front here, goes into an internal pocket inside the front of the body. And that is removing the frame and grips. We'll now reassemble this. So first thing to do is check we have the gasket in place in the top of the solenoid assembly. This is the gasket that seals between the solenoid and the body. You need to make sure all the wires are tucked out of the way so nothing gets trapped. Make sure everything's fully plugged in the top, and make sure that your breech sensors here are both vertical and that they haven't been bent in any way. So once we've made sure that the gasket's in, take the body and hook the front of the frame into the front of the body and carefully move the two together. The body and the frame should meet up without any resistance. You can start to put the screws back in, put them in loosely to start with. Don't tighten one all the way in before you've started the second one. Now that they're both in, you can alternate between the two. These don't have to be over tight. Just a small amount of pressure, fingertip pressure. At this point, it's easy to put the foregrip back on and also put the rear grips back on. Make sure the tabs at the front of the grips and the top of the grips are in the pockets inside the frame and body. So apply some pressure, push the front in, make sure that's clipped in, clip the rear in. Do the same on the other side, make sure the tab at the front is tucked in, and then the rear one can clip in too. Then slide on the rear section. You'll see that the tabs here at the back slide over the back of the frame. Push those all the way forward, clip down on both sides and lock both of the tabs back off. Final thing to do is insert the drivetrain, push the cap down. And that was grip and frame removal for a Geo R5.